Hi everyone, Simon here from Sterling Coaching and welcome to another Monday's Moment live video. And I'm outside but inside, so it's a little bit cool outside to stand out in the actual cold, even though we're coming to the end of May, beginning of June. So I've come inside into the summer house to record this a little bit. And I want to talk about today something that I read in Big Issue, and the question that an article by a lady called Lea Thompson, and I don't know if you can see her there, mentions in here of the technology advances that we've had since the 80s when she starred in the film Back to the Future. What negative and what positive impacts have they had on our lives? See you in a moment. Now, as I was reading this article, it was great to do a couple of things. One, I'm old enough to go back to the 80s. I left school in the 80s, in 1984. But also to think about the advancements in technology. When I think about the use of computers, mobile phones, the internet. And in this article, she mentions that she would love to go back to the 80s and take a look and look forward at what the future holds. And you think about things that were in these films of hoverboards and the ways we communicate, and some of the things have actually not just come true, but they've exceeded what was in the film as well, although we haven't quite got time travel there yet. But one of the things that I wanted you to think about in this Monday's Moment video is what it says here about I'm not happier because of the internet. You know, are there things that Lea mentioned here about not being happy with the internet? Are there things that have advanced in our lives, in our businesses over the last perhaps decade or so, perhaps even longer, that whilst they feel like advancements, that they haven't necessarily made us happier? Are there things in your business that you are working on right now that you're looking to make advancements, but are those things actually going to make the business more successful, a happier place to be? And what has history shown you in some of the changes that you've put into your own business? And I think as Lea talked here, you know, there are so many benefits for advancement, so many positive things that it can make a difference to our lives. We have to be grateful for that. But there are also things that perhaps are less positive and almost and actually in fact negative. And if you think about the internet, you think about social media, you know, for me, social media is a great thing. I'm doing this now, sharing it on social media and on all these different platforms, using technology of recording this on a phone and broadcasting it live as I'm out here and streaming through technology. But actually, for some, that same technology is very harmful. It's the way people can hurt you. It's the way people control you. It's the way that you can be destroyed and be destructive to yourself as well. So cast your mind back. Go back to perhaps the 80s. If you can't go back that far, perhaps go back to the 90s or the noughties. Go back to whatever time and think about those advancements that have been made. Think about those that have had a positive effect. Think about those that have had a negative effect, and list them down. Wherever this video is that you're watching, list them down. The ones that have been positive, the ones that have been negative. But then use those lessons to go back to the future of where we are now and think, in my planning, in my implementation, in my strategy, whatever it is that you're going to be doing that's going to bring about change and advancement in your life and in your business, what can you do to make sure it has more of a positive impact and you avoid the negative impacts wherever possible? Think about that as you go through today. I'm going to do the same, and as I sit here, you know, doing this video now, one of the things I think I'm going to do, certainly when I'm going away, I've got a few long weekends away, is be a little bit more off-grid, a little bit more with my puzzle book. You know, the reason I bought the Big Issue is, one, I like to read the articles, but also I like to do the crosswords that are in there. So perhaps I'm going to go out there and I'm going to buy some puzzle books, and just be a little bit more off grid. So the advancement is to take more time away from the business, but to make that more positive by actually having less time looking at a screen as I am now, and more actually putting the brain matter to work. That would be a great thing for me to do. Think about things that you can do. Let us know in the box below. And of course, you know, two actions you can take from today. If you want to join one of my Facebook groups, the details of the group that I have for coaches and the group that I have for businesses that want to take it to the next level will be with the notes that go out with this when it's broadcast. And of course, you'd be very welcome to be a guest on my podcast. Please check out my podcast on all the platforms, on Apple and Spotify, Business Success and Coffee Podcasts. Sometimes you have to put Sterling's Business Success and Coffee Podcast in front of it. That would be a great thing to do as well. So join one of my Facebook groups, or listen to or be a guest on my podcast. So see you next week. Bye for now.